China's expansion in Panama. Date, February 3, 2025. Time, 20 hours 26 minutes and 42 seconds. Summary. China's increasing influence in Panama, particularly concerning the Panama Canal, signifies a notable transformation in the geopolitical dynamics of Central America. The relationship has developed since the establishment of diplomatic ties in June 2017, which marked Panama's shift from its long-standing allegiance to Taiwan. This report delves into the key events, developments, challenges, and implications of this expansion. Timeline of key events. June 2016, the Panama Canal's expansion is inaugurated, enhancing its global shipping capacity. June 13, 2017, Panama establishes diplomatic relations with China, recognizing Beijing and initiating various bilateral agreements. 2017 onward, a surge in Chinese investments and projects in Panama, particularly in infrastructure and trade. Key developments. 1. Geopolitical context. The Panama Canal is a crucial artery for global maritime trade. Responsible for approximately 6% of the world's shipping traffic. China's interest in Panama is largely influenced by its Belt and Road Initiative, aimed at establishing a network of trade routes and enhancing China's influence in Latin America while counterbalancing U.S. dominance. 2. Economic engagement. After establishing diplomatic ties, Panama and China signed 19 agreements encompassing trade, finance, and infrastructure. China has emerged as the second-largest user of the Panama Canal, following the U.S., with major Chinese shipping companies such as COSCO frequently utilizing the route. 3. Investment in infrastructure. Significant Chinese investments focus on logistics and transportation infrastructure. Noteworthy projects include a $900 million container port in Colón designed to accommodate Neo-Panamax ships and a proposed railway connecting Panama City to the Chiriquí province. 4. Trade relations. The Colón Free Zone (CFZ) in Panama, the largest free trade zone in the Americas, has seen a substantial influx of Chinese goods. In the first half of 2017 alone, goods worth over $1.34 billion were imported from China, underscoring the deepening economic ties. 5. Challenges and opportunities. While Chinese investments present economic opportunities for Panama, challenges remain. Concerns about over-reliance on China, the need for agricultural productivity improvements, and the necessity for a skilled workforce are significant. Panama must also reform its financial infrastructure and regulatory framework to manage the influx of Chinese investment effectively. Common themes across sources. Strategic importance of the Panama Canal. The canal's global trade significance is consistently highlighted, emphasizing how China's involvement enhances its strategic positioning. Economic growth and investment. There is a broad consensus on the economic benefits stemming from Chinese investment in infrastructure and trade. Crucial for Panama's growth trajectory. Sino-Panamanian relations. The shift from Taiwan to China marks a significant political realignment in Central America. Differences in perspectives. Geopolitical implications. Some sources focus on the potential U.S. response to China's growing influence, while others provide detailed accounts of specific projects and agreements. Broader implications. Certain analyses address how China's expansion could affect U.S. foreign policy in Latin America, particularly concerning migration and regional stability. Conclusion. China's expansion in Panama heralds a new era in diplomatic and economic relations, marked by substantial investments and strategic projects. However, Panama faces the challenge of leveraging these opportunities to ensure that the benefits translate into long-term growth and stability for its economy and society. Detailed analysis of developments. China's interest in Panama has historical roots and practical implications that extend beyond mere economic transactions. The diplomatic shift in 2017 was not just a change in formal relations, but a strategic maneuver that allows China to solidify its presence in a region traditionally influenced by the United States. Historical context. Panama had previously maintained strong diplomatic ties with Taiwan since the Cold War, primarily due to its capitalist economy. However, the global geopolitical landscape has shifted, prompting Panama to reconsider its alliances. The decision to recognize Beijing over Taipei was a turning point, reflecting Panama's desire to engage with one of the world's largest economies. Infrastructure investments. The expansion of the Panama Canal was a critical factor in attracting Chinese interest. With the canal's enhanced capacity, it became essential for global shipping, particularly for larger vessels. China's investments in infrastructure are designed to capitalize on this opportunity, with projects such as the new container port aimed at increasing Panama's logistics capabilities. The proposed railway project, if realized, would significantly improve connectivity within Panama, facilitating trade and boosting economic activity. Moreover, direct flights established by Chinese airlines enhance accessibility and foster greater business ties between the two nations. Economic impact and trade. China's presence in the Cologne Free Zone exemplifies its economic engagement in Panama. The CFZ serves as a critical hub for re-exporting goods throughout the Americas. And China's dominance in this area underscores its strategic approach to trade in the region. The substantial volume of imports from China signifies a growing dependency that Panama must navigate carefully. While these developments promise economic growth, they also raise concerns about the potential for overdependence on Chinese goods and investment. The Panamanian government must ensure that local industries are not undermined and that the economic benefits of Chinese investments are shared broadly across the population. Challenges ahead. To fully harness the potential of Chinese investments, Panama faces several challenges. There is a pressing need to improve agricultural productivity and develop a skilled workforce capable of meeting the demands of new industries. The government must prioritize educational reforms and vocational training to equip its citizens with the necessary skills. Additionally, Panama's financial regulatory framework needs strengthening to accommodate the influx of foreign investment while ensuring transparency and compliance with international standards. The government's ability to implement effective reforms will be crucial in maximizing the benefits of Chinese engagement. Conclusion. The expansion of China's influence in Panama, particularly around the Panama Canal, marks a significant shift in the region's geopolitical landscape. While this relationship offers considerable economic opportunities, it also presents challenges that require careful management. Panama must navigate this complex landscape to ensure that its sovereignty is preserved and that the benefits of foreign investment contribute to long-term national growth and stability. 1. Geopolitical dynamics. The expansion of China's influence in Panama is counterintuitive in the context of traditional U.S. dominance in Central America. While the U.S. has historically viewed the Panama Canal as a strategic asset, China's growing presence signals a shift in geopolitical alliances, with Panama opting for a partnership with Beijing over long-standing ties with Taiwan. This realignment challenges the narrative of U.S. hegemony in the region. 2. Economic relationships. Despite being a smaller economy, Panama's decision to strengthen ties with China has positioned it as a significant player in the global trade landscape. The fact that China has become the second-largest user of the Panama Canal after the U.S. is noteworthy. This shift suggests that smaller nations can leverage their strategic assets to gain favor with larger powers, which is often overlooked in discussions about international relations. 3. Dependency concerns. The narrative typically frames Chinese investment as a straightforward economic opportunity for developing nations. However, the potential for overdependence on China complicates this picture. While Chinese investment can drive economic growth, it also raises concerns about sovereignty and the long-term implications of such relationships, which may not always align with local interests. This duality challenges the notion that foreign investment is inherently beneficial. 4. Cultural integration. The presence of a substantial Chinese community in Panama, which constitutes about 4% of the population, adds a layer of complexity to the Sino-Panamanian relationship. Historically, Panama has had a Chinese presence since the early 20th century, and this existing community may facilitate deeper economic and cultural ties that are often underestimated in geopolitical analyses. 5. Infrastructure development. The focus on infrastructure, such as the construction of a new container port and potential railway projects, could lead one to assume that these developments will uniformly benefit Panama. However, the challenges of ensuring local workforce training and agricultural productivity indicate that mere investment does not guarantee equitable economic growth. This nuance suggests that infrastructure projects alone are insufficient for comprehensive socio-economic development. 6. Trade imbalances. The significant volume of goods imported from China through the Cologne Free Zone raises questions about the nature of trade relations. While it may seem beneficial for Panama to host a global trading hub, the reliance on Chinese imports may hamper local industries. This dynamic contradicts the assumption that increased trade always leads to positive outcomes for developing economies. 7. Political shifts. The decision to switch diplomatic recognition from Taiwan to China is often viewed solely through a political lens. However, it is also a reflection of Panama's economic aspirations and strategic positioning. This pragmatic approach suggests that national interests can sometimes outweigh ideological affiliations, challenging the conventional wisdom that political alliances are primarily based on shared values or governance styles. 8. Local economic challenges. The article highlights the need for Panama to enhance its agricultural sector and workforce training to cope with the influx of Chinese investment. This reality contrasts with the common perception that foreign investment automatically leads to local economic empowerment. Instead, without proactive measures, such investments may exacerbate existing vulnerabilities rather than resolve them. 9. Banking sector dynamics. The interest of Chinese banks in establishing a presence in Panama introduces a potential shift in the banking landscape. While this can enhance financial services, it also raises concerns about regulatory challenges and the potential for increased financial risks. The assumption that foreign banks will always contribute positively to local economies overlooks the complexities of financial regulation and oversight. 10. Infrastructure and labor market. The emphasis on building infrastructure without corresponding investments in human capital suggests a gap in planning. This disconnect challenges the assumption that economic growth through infrastructure development will automatically lead to employment and skill enhancement for the local population. It highlights the importance of integrated development strategies that consider both physical and human resources. China's expansion in Panama, particularly around the Panama Canal, is a multifaceted development that often elicits attention for its immediate economic implications. However, several critical aspects of this relationship may be overlooked by the general public, which are significant for understanding the broader geopolitical and socio-economic context. 1. Historical context and diplomatic shift. The establishment of diplomatic relations between Panama and China in June 2017 marked a pivotal shift from Panama's long-standing alliance with Taiwan. This transition is significant not only because it reflects a changing political landscape in Central America, but also because it highlights the strategic maneuvers within global politics. For decades, Panama was a key ally of Taiwan, and its switch to recognize Beijing signals a broader trend in which countries are re-evaluating their alliances in the face of China's rising global influence. This historical context provides insight into the motivations behind Panama's decision as well as the potential ramifications for U.S. foreign policy in the region. 2. Strategic importance of the Panama Canal. While many recognize the Panama Canal as a crucial conduit for global maritime trade, the extent of its importance to China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) may be underestimated. The canal facilitates around 6% of the world's maritime trade, making it a strategic asset for any nation seeking to enhance its geopolitical influence. China's growing presence in Panama allows it to secure a foothold in a region traditionally dominated by U.S. interests, potentially altering the balance of power in Central America. This strategic dimension of the canal's significance is essential to understanding not just the economic but also the geopolitical stakes involved. 3. Economic engagement and infrastructure development. The sheer volume of agreements signed between Panama and China, 19 agreements in various sectors post-2017, often overshadows the specific nature of these agreements. Chinese investments are not merely transactional, they are instrumental in reshaping Panama's economic landscape. Notably, the proposed $900 million container port in Colón and a potential railway connecting Panama City to Chiriquí province represent significant infrastructure developments that could fundamentally alter trade dynamics in the region. The implications of these projects go beyond immediate economic benefits, potentially leading to long-term shifts in labor markets, urbanization patterns, and regional logistics. 4. Impacts on local economy and workforce. The influx of Chinese investment presents both opportunities and challenges for Panama. While many celebrate the potential for economic growth, the risk of overdependence on China is a critical concern that is often overlooked. The prospect of relying heavily on a single foreign investor could lead to vulnerabilities in Panama's economy, particularly if global economic conditions change or if Chinese interests shift. Furthermore, the need for a skilled workforce to handle advanced infrastructure and technology is paramount. The current educational and training capacity in Panama is insufficient to meet this demand, indicating that without significant investment in human capital, the benefits of Chinese investment may not be fully realized. 5. Sovereignty and regulatory challenges. Panama's relationship with China raises questions about national sovereignty and regulatory frameworks. As Chinese companies increase their presence, there are concerns regarding the potential influence they may exert over local economic policies and regulations. The need for Panama to establish a transparent and robust regulatory framework is critical to ensure that foreign investments benefit the local population and do not undermine national interests. This aspect is particularly significant given the historical context of foreign involvement in Latin America, which has often led to exploitative practices. 6. Geopolitical implications for U.S. foreign policy. The shift in Panama's diplomatic allegiance and the growing Chinese influence in the region present challenges for U.S. foreign policy. Historically, the U.S. has viewed Latin America as its sphere of influence, and China's expansion poses a direct challenge to this perception. The implications extend beyond mere economic competition. They encompass national security concerns and the potential for increased Chinese military presence in the region. The U.S. must re-evaluate its strategies in Latin America, focusing on enhancing diplomatic ties and addressing the root causes of migration, which are inherently linked to economic stability and opportunity. 7. Environmental considerations. The environmental impact of the infrastructure projects tied to Chinese investments is another critical aspect that may be overlooked. The development of ports, railways, and other infrastructure can lead to significant ecological changes, including deforestation and disruption of local ecosystems. These environmental considerations are not just local issues, they have global implications as well, particularly in the context of climate change and biodiversity loss. It is essential for Panama to implement sustainable practices in its development plans to mitigate these risks. Conclusion. China's expansion in Panama is a complex phenomenon that intertwines economic, political, and social dimensions. The historical context of diplomatic relations, the strategic importance of the Panama Canal, and the implications for local economies and U.S. foreign policy are all critical components that deserve deeper examination. Overlooking these aspects may lead to a superficial understanding of the situation, failing to grasp the full significance of China's growing presence in Panama and its potential impact on the broader geopolitical landscape. As Panama navigates this new relationship, It faces the dual challenge of leveraging economic opportunities while safeguarding its national interests and sovereignty. 1. Geopolitical significance of the Panama Canal. China's interest in Panama is heavily influenced by the strategic importance of the Panama Canal, a critical artery for global maritime trade. By establishing a presence in Panama, China aims to enhance its influence in Central America, balancing against U.S. dominance in the region. The canal facilitates approximately 6% of global trade, making it a pivotal point for international logistics and trade routes. 2. Economic integration and investment. The establishment of diplomatic relations in 2017 marked a new phase in Sino-Panamanian relations, leading to a surge in Chinese investments across various sectors. This includes significant infrastructure projects such as a new container port in Cologne, designed to handle larger vessels and boost Panama's logistics capabilities. The agreements signed between the two nations highlight the economic opportunities presented by Chinese investments, which are crucial for Panama's economic growth and development. 3. Challenges of dependency and local development. As Panama increasingly engages with China, there are concerns about potential economic overdependence. While Chinese investments bring financial benefits, they also require Panama to improve its agricultural productivity, workforce skills, and regulatory frameworks. Ensuring that these investments translate into sustainable local development is a challenge that Panama must navigate, emphasizing the need for structural reforms and capacity building. 4. Broader implications for U.S. foreign policy. China's growing presence in Panama has significant implications for U.S. foreign policy in Latin America. The shift from diplomatic relations with Taiwan to China signals a broader trend of realignment in the region, raising concerns in Washington about losing influence. This evolving geopolitical landscape necessitates a re-evaluation of U.S. strategies in Latin America, particularly in response to China's increasing economic and political engagement. 1. The United States expansion in Panama 1903 to 1914. The construction of the Panama Canal by the United States marked a significant geopolitical maneuver at the turn of the 20th century. After helping Panama gain independence from Colombia in 1903, the U.S. secured control over the Panama Canal Zone, which became crucial for maritime trade. The canal, completed in 1914, allowed the U.S. to enhance its naval presence and influence in the Caribbean and Pacific, effectively connecting the two oceans. This expansion was driven by the desire to facilitate trade, assert military power, and symbolize American technological and economic dominance. 2. Japan's expansion in Southeast Asia during World War II 1941 to 1945. Japan's aggressive expansion into Southeast Asia during World War II aimed at securing resources and establishing a greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere. The occupation of territories such as the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia was part of Japan's strategy to gain control over vital resources and trade routes. Similar to China's interest in Panama, Japan sought to enhance its geopolitical position and economic power, which ultimately led to significant conflicts and change in the region's dynamics. 3. Russia's expansion into Crimea and eastern Ukraine 2014. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its involvement in eastern Ukraine exemplified a strategic expansion aimed at reclaiming influence in a region perceived as critical to national security and geopolitical interests. The move was motivated by the desire to secure naval access to the Black Sea and assert dominance over former Soviet territories. This expansion has drawn international condemnation and has shifted the balance of power in Europe, paralleling China's strategic initiatives in Panama, where the aim is to influence a crucial maritime trade route. Future outlook: predictions for China's expansion in Panama. As we look ahead to the next decade, the trajectory of China's expansion in Panama is likely to evolve, significantly shaped by geopolitical dynamics, economic developments, and local governance challenges. Here are key predictions for the future of this relationship. 1. Increased Chinese investment and infrastructure development. China's ongoing investments in Panama, particularly around the Panama Canal, are expected to continue growing. The construction of the new $900 million container port in Cologne and the proposed railway connecting Panama City to Chiriquí are likely to be completed in the coming years, enhancing logistics capabilities and further integrating Panama into global supply chains. This will not only improve Panama's infrastructure but also solidify China's role as a key economic partner in the region. 2. Strengthening trade relations. By 2030, China is predicted to become Panama's largest trading partner, surpassing the United States. The growth of the Cologne Free Zone CFZ will facilitate this trade expansion, with Chinese goods dominating imports. Panama's geographic position as a gateway between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans will make it increasingly attractive for Chinese companies looking to penetrate both North and South American markets. This trade relationship will likely shift the balance of economic power in the region as Panama becomes a crucial hub for Chinese exports. 3. Geopolitical tensions with the United States. As China's influence in Panama grows, it is expected that the United States will respond with increased diplomatic and economic engagement in the region. This may involve strengthening ties with other Central American nations to counteract China's presence. The U.S. may also enhance its military and surveillance capabilities in the Caribbean to monitor Chinese activities, particularly around the strategically vital Panama Canal, which could lead to a tense geopolitical environment. 4. Socioeconomic challenges and local governance. While the influx of Chinese investment presents significant opportunities for Panama, it also brings challenges. The Panamanian government will need to ensure that foreign investments translate into tangible benefits for local communities. This includes creating jobs, enhancing local industries, and ensuring that economic gains do not lead to overdependence on China. There will likely be calls for greater transparency and public engagement in decision-making processes regarding foreign investments. 5. Agricultural and industrial development. To maximize the benefits of Chinese investments, Panama will need to focus on improving its agricultural productivity and industrial capacity. By 2030, initiatives to train a skilled workforce and modernize agricultural practices will be essential. The government may implement policies to support local farmers and industries, reducing reliance on imports and fostering sustainable development. If successful, this could lead to a more diversified economy that is less vulnerable to external shocks. 6. Environmental considerations. As infrastructure projects advance, there will be increasing scrutiny regarding environmental impacts. Panama's rich biodiversity and ecosystems could face threats from large-scale developments. By 2030, there is likely to be a stronger emphasis on sustainable development practices, with both the Panamanian government and Chinese investors needing to address environmental concerns to maintain social license and international standing. 7. Evolving Sino-Panamanian relations. The relationship between China and Panama is expected to deepen with more cultural and educational exchanges. This will include increased scholarship programs, tourism, and business partnerships. By 2030, we could see a more integrated approach to bilateral relations, with both governments working collaboratively on issues such as climate change, public health, and technology transfer. 8. Digital infrastructure and technology transfer. With China's focus on technology and innovation, Panama may benefit from investments in digital infrastructure. This could include advancements in telecommunications, e-commerce, and smart city initiatives. By 2030, the digital landscape in Panama could transform significantly, driven by Chinese technology firms enhancing connectivity and creating new economic opportunities. 9. Regional influence and leadership. As Panama becomes a focal point for Chinese investment in Central America, it may assume a leadership role in regional affairs. By 2030, Panama could leverage its strategic position and economic ties with China to act as a mediator between Chinese interests and other Central American nations, fostering regional cooperation and development initiatives. Conclusion. The future of China's expansion in Panama is poised for substantial growth, presenting both opportunities and challenges. As this relationship evolves, it will be crucial for Panama to navigate the complexities of increased Chinese involvement while ensuring that its sovereignty, local interests, and sustainable development goals are maintained. The next decade will be pivotal in shaping the geopolitical and economic landscape of Central America, with Panama at the center of this transformation.